Everyone, and we're back with another review. This time we are featuring the KO versions of the Power of the Primes Dinobot Combiner Volcanicus. This one is brought to you by BPF. There you go. So the brand that we are going to talk about today is something that just recently came out. Actually, it's been out for a few weeks or so, even I think months now. I think over a month here in the Philippines, and we're going to talk about BPF. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but this is a 1:1 copy. Yes, you heard it right. This is not an oversized figure. This is a 1:1 copy of the Dinobots from the Power of the Primes line. So they're technically combining into Volcanicus right there. So we're going to check each and every one of these little guys, unboxing them and technically going through a rough overview on how they look, how they feel, how they combine, is it simplified, and so on. But as you can see, they have a pretty nice packaging right there. Let me just try to raise the camera so we can see Grimlock. And let's just try to check this out. So the boxes are matte and they come in a very nice box. One thing that I could tell you right now is that the logo says they're BPF. I don't really know what it stands for, but it's pretty impressive. The box is not cheap looking. The box doesn't feel like it's, you know, poorly made. It says they're deformation dinosaur fit. Well, dinosaurs need to be fit because they need to be fit. They're animals. So, well, extinct animals, that is. But, you know, dinosaur ages 6+, 2 deformation modes. I think that's the Chinese word for transformation. They keep coming up with that word every time that you would hear it from Wei Jiang, from Taikong Zan's. It all says deformation. So I guess that's the meaning of transformation, or roughly transform in Chinese. I don't know. I'm not Chinese. Anyway, so we have BPF Tyrannosaurus. We have a copied art from Hasbro's Grimlock. We could see Grimlock in his encasing. As one, a very, what do you call this, obvious change in this is that you would see there's a symbol of a Tyranno. And you can see that there are two, two, what do you call this, what do you call these things? I forgot. Matrices. There could be matrices. I forgot, from the Power of the Primes line. But they're supposed to fit in those little sections where the Titan Masters were supposed to be in. And then there's a sword. I'm very curious about that sword. So if we take a look at the back, we have very lovely product shots of the transformation. It actually looks better in this product shot compared to the ones that we had with Hasbro. I don't know what they did, but it looks a lot better. Maybe the lighting, maybe the Photoshop images. And we have Pterosaurus, we have Triceratops, we have a Stegosaurus, and we have a Brontosaurus, and finally we have a Tyrannosaurus. There's a bunch of writings here. Not suitable for children under 3 years of age. Contains small parts. Customer information. Please keep address and package for future references. I am not sure if they actually even copied that from Hasbro. So lovely box art again. Very, very impressive box art. Very nice feel. So that is Grimlock right there. If we take a look, oops, my backdrop is falling apart. If we take a look at the others, we have here Sludge. That's the art, and we have Swoop, and exactly the same thing that you would have on the packaging of the Hasbro version, which shows the red, which reminds me, I believe that they're coming up with a red version of Swoop somewhere along the line. And here is Slag, Triceratops. And I'm telling you right now, this thing doesn't feel cheap. The box doesn't really feel cheap at all. I wanted to really unbox them before, but I felt that it would be nice if I would also show you the boxes before I would do that. So there. And lastly, we have Sludgy. No, this is not Sludgy. This is Snarl. Oh, something's up. See that? Something's loose over there. So Snarl is the last piece of our set. And I will come back and I will unbox these guys because there's a lot of them, and I want to make sure that we all get a clear shot of there, so you can see that we have the dinosaurs. This thing, I think I have it the other way around, so let's just try. There you go. So one lovely thing is that everybody had the dinosaurs placed on their boxes, and it looks great. So let's begin the unboxing, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have them unboxed, and we can see right now that they look identical to the Power of the Primes Dinobots from Hasbro. One thing that I can really tell you right off the bat right now, guys, is that their paint job is just really spot on. The plastic that was used was very similar. It feels a little lighter. Maybe this is just what do you call this? If you would compare this to the Hasbro plastic, this would be 90% accurate, and the weight is a little lighter. But transformation wise, this is really a 1:1 copy from your original Power of the Primes Volcanicus set. Now, changes. Let's start off with the biggest guy in the bunch. Let's just move these little fellers down here. One thing that I'm very, very happy about is that Grimlock is looking fantastic. He comes along with these two little doodads right here, which you can connect to your Titan Master or Power Master, Power of the Primes, Prime Master ports, and he is still Voyager size, no changes to the scale. One thing that I love is that his joints are really ratchety, lovely sound, fresh ratchet sounds right there. There you go. And his face looks awesome. The red is vibrant. The only difference is that he doesn't have that Autobot insignia, you know, out of lawsuits. And one thing that you could notice right now is that he has this really nice big sword that didn't come originally with the whole set with your Hasbro. And if you have an FOC Grimlock, you would notice, this is my very dusty and very old FOC Grimlock. That is the same sword. That is an upscaled version of the FOC Grimlock sword, and it looks great on Power of the Primes Grimlock. This is the Voyager FOC Grimlock, and he's a lot taller than the Combiner one, but it's not really bad. I like the sword model on this toy right here, and they just upscaled that with this version. BPF did a wonderful job of upscaling that sword. Look at that, translucent red, very menacing, black glossy plastic, not cheap, very sturdy, very heavy for a toy. There you go. And little drawbacks here and there. The ratchets are there, but like what I said, I don't know why, but I can't really put a finger on it. It has that very light feel in some places. Although it doesn't really feel cheap at all. That's one thing that I will say, but it's not really a 1:1 feel. So you would still know that, hey, this is not a Hasbro one. I can feel it, that this is somewhat different in a little way. Now, aside, oops, swoop fell. Just stand there. One thing that also that I don't feel right is that when you put these things, the foot that comes along with Volcanicus on his ports, it feels so easy to move. From my experience, these things would lock into place and they would just really be tight. But here, just a matter of just moving my finger, it just turns. So it's not really stable, and it won't stay in place. But overall, Grimlock still looks fantastic. Let's move on now with Sludge. Now Sludge comes along with his usual combiner hand, and one thing that you can see here is that there just really is no Autobot symbol for this guy. There you go. His face looks amazing. The sculpt, the paint job is just fine. The combiner hands just feel like the same hands that you would get from Power of the Primes. The gold looks great. Sticker wise, I think they did a wonderful job, but again, it feels a little off about it being a KO figure, most likely because of these things. So I don't know, so it peels off easily on this one. I mean, you can just remove that. On my Hasbro one, that thing just stays put, but this one is just like a mere movement of that. See, just doing that, comes loose. Just comes loose, and that's, I'm not even putting enough force on that thing. So that is Sludgy. Sludgy-o. Okay, let's move on to Swoop. Swoop. One thing that you'll notice with Swoop is that he still carries his very red sword that comes along with the Power of the Primes line. He transforms normally. Wings are still extendable. Very slim, very nimble. The face still looks the same. Nothing changed. I like that they carried over the translucent plastic. There is no Autobot logo. The big difference is that you would know right off the bat that this is a KO Swoop is that, look at that crest. That crest is very small. It is not extended like the other Swoop would be. And later on we'll have a very good comparison because we'll bring in the Power of the Primes Dinobots when we try to combine them and compare them in Volcanicus mode. But Swoop is just Swoop. He's thin, he's very nimble, small, and they did a fantastic job except for the head. Honestly, it's not a bad thing. If you would ask me if they had the crest shortened, it gives a little more distinction. So this could be like, you know, would know that this is definitely a KO Swoop, so people won't get confused. Now, let's go with Slag. Slag is very scary because when I compared him with the other Slag from the Power of the Primes, he has the same metallic thighs. The face looks the same. The only difference is there is no Autobot insignia here. Other than that, he is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Very, very scary. Someone who can just paint that or just put a decal right there and make it look the same would be able to sell a BPF Slag to you, and you won't even feel the difference except if you really weigh him or not. But he looks absolutely the same. No changes made. Okay, let's move on to the last piece of the puzzle. This is okay. I like Snarl. Big difference is that when you get Snarl, you have a translucent, plain-looking, clear Energon sword. When he had a red one in the Power of the Primes, he has the combiner hands. Very odd that they actually followed the same scheme as Snarl would have in the Hasbro version. With the Hasbro version, I mean, he has the same colors for the tail with the combiner hand. Nothing changed as well, except for the port. Face looks mean and ready to rumble. So that is it. That is pretty much it. We're gonna turn them into dinosaurs, and we're gonna pause the video, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and we just transformed them into the dino modes. So when we check out these guys earlier, they're in robot mode, and they were really just looking the same as the Hasbro ones. And if we transform them now, we can see that they are really 1:1 copies. It is frighteningly, what do you call this, accurate. They were a little light in robot mode, but I don't know why, but it feels a little better now when they're in dino mode. Slag even has that same thing where people would like to, like, not really give him that look and give him a more of a neck or a triceratops. Same trouble with the original. The horns are not equal in length, so that is pretty cool. Same goes with, what do you call this, Snarl. Little something to tell about Snarl is that he's his legs are a little stiff in dino mode. Not MFT tight like scary, but just a little stiff. There you go. There you go. Looks great. No problemo. Exactly the same. Let's go with Sludge. Sludge is fantastic. He looks great in his dinosaur mode. There you go. Really 1:1 copy. And of course, the big change to everything, if you would look at Swoop, he is missing a crest. There you go. There you go. Swoop is the same transformation, except that the crest is a little short. Actually, it looks okay to me. I mean, some pterosaurs, flying reptiles, had very short crests, and not everybody had like a profound crest like a pteranodon would. And we have Grimlock. Grimlock is really spot on. He feels great. The little problem with this is that this really is, the tail piece is not locking in place. There you go. And of course the legs, this is very loose right there. I can't seem to close the gap correctly. There you go. And again, the legs are a little loose. Same goes with the combiner ports for that. But overall, they look great together. That's your BPF Dinobots right there. Looking great, looking fantastic. And if you can just do a little size comparison between the MFT Grimlock, let's put that here. They're a lot bigger. Definitely a lot bigger. Let's put this guy side by side. There you go. They don't look bad at all. I mean, if you want a good stand-in for your Hasbro Dinobots, I think BPF would do just fine. I mean, a cheaper, more affordable alternative than getting a Hasbro one. You know, I know some people in our page, Cybertron Philippines, who actually bought 3 sets of Dinobots from Hasbro, and you know, they would keep it in robot mode, they would keep it in combined mode and dinosaur mode. And I mean, if you want to do that and you want to save a bit, this is the way to go. So we're going to pause for one last time and check out the combiner limbs and do a quick comparison with the 1:1 version of BPF versus the Hasbro one. Okay, so we're back and we transformed them into limb modes. They're limb modes right there. So we're going to start first with Slag. Now, on my right, we have the Hasbro one, as you can see, that has the insignia of the Autobots right there. And you would notice that they have no difference at all. That is how accurate the copy of BPF is to Hasbro's. And you would see it right there. Now, the only thing that I think that would be different would be the lightness of the color on this. I think my camera is not doing justice, but you would definitely feel that this has a lighter, more matte color than the Hasbro one. So the Hasbro one has a more vibrant feel. This one right here is Hasbro, and nothing's different at all. Even the sticker alignment is fine. Transformation wise, nothing is wrong. This one has a brighter gold though, So BPF has a brighter gold compared to Hasbro's. So that's slag right there. Let's now move on with what do you call this? Sludge. As you can see right off the bat, that Sludge has the insignia of the Autobots on his forehead, while this Sludge does not have. This one right here has a more misty kind of looking plastic. This one has a more clearer looking plastic. Sticker wise, they look the same. More dull color on this, more brighter color on Hasbro. Transformation is pretty much the same. 1:1. No changes at all. Oops, I forgot to bring this up right here. Ratchet wise, I think the ratchets on the BPF guys are a lot more sturdier. I don't know what's... Oh, give me a second. Let me just try to check this out, because I can't seem to push it all the way now. Is this trouble that we are seeing? I do not know. But let's just put it that way. Anyway, I'm going to combine them in a bit. So I'm going to put these guys here at the side. Let's go now with Swoop. As you can see right away, Swoop has the biggest difference with the Swoop from Hasbro. Notice that the crest is brighter red, and this one is a darker red, and the crest here is fully complete. The difference again is the sticker insignia not being present on the other one, but overall it is the same thing. Last limb, let's go with these two guys. This is, push them all the way back, go away. So these snarls right here are very identical. Again, the only difference is that you would have the stickers again to know which is Hasbro and which is not. Another thing that I noticed is that Hasbro would have that serial number that would usually end up showing in one of their transformations. So you can definitely look for that if you're eyeing to find which one is a BPF figure and which one is an authentic Hasbro figure. But overall, markings, strikings, paintings, and pretty much transformation is the same. Duller red, more brighter red on Hasbro. The one that I was talking about would be this on Swoop. Can't really focus. Come on, focus. I don't know why. There you go. So you can see that it's E1123. On the other BPF Swoop, there has been no markings or whatsoever found or discovered on these guys. So again, the markings would serve as authentic markers for your Hasbro figures. Now here I have the original Hasbro Grimlock, and you can see that the sticker is already peeling off, and you have the serial number right there. On my BPF, it is very the same, very much the same, except for the fact there is no insignia of the Autobots, and there is no serial number right there. Big differences that you can spot right away. So we have Volcanicus' face, spot on. Gold is really looking amazing. Very lovely color. Again, it is hefty. I like that the ratchets on this is a lot more sturdier. Thus you can angle it so it won't really look like a squatting robot like what you have with Hasbro. So if you ask me, I like the Grimlock on the with BPF's Volcanicus design. So we're gonna do a last pause and combine them and do a quick comparison with them in Volcanicus mode. Okay, so we're back and we have the Hasbro figure completely combined into Volcanicus right now. And I would just like to point out something that I found with the BPF figure. So notice that I was trying to do this earlier and trying to really, come on, focus. Anyway, So I was trying to transform Sludge into his limb mode, and I forgot that the combiner port was not fully extended, or it wasn't at the right section to transform it into a leg. Now the plastic here is a little thick, that's why it didn't go through, and when I did it, it gave stress marks already. So be careful with that. I think that's one of the flaws now. So it's a hit or miss, it's not quality engineered, or I don't know what happened with the engineering with that, but they pretty much look the same. So let's try to bring him up. So on my left is the BPF figure, and on my right is the Hasbro figure. And no changes, except again the transformation sequence had a little hitch right there because of Sludge's thick plastic. But overall, I think they look pretty much the same. Definitely cheaper, as I bought Volcanicus, this Volcanicus right here, at 1,500. Now 1,500 is just the price of the Voyager class figure for Volcanicus, which is Grimlock. So actually he's a lot more expensive. This one is 1,600. So if you bought 1,500 for the complete set, that is a steal. That is super affordable and super cheap. Now again, it's hit or miss. You don't really expect to have super duper good quality with this figure from BPF versus the Hasbro one. But if you want an alternate stand-in, if you're missing parts, if you're missing components that you want to scrap, you want to do a customized version, repainted, then I would say that the best bet would be going with BPF, since you're not going to spend an arm and a leg for it. And the quality is not that bad. It's 90% accurate. It is 90% Hasbro plastic. A little hitches here and there when you come to when you go through a transformation, but overall it is pretty fine. If I would rate this, I would give this most likely an 8.5 or a close 9. But again, it is up to you. Don't really take my word for it. If you want to really go ahead and check it out, then experience it yourself. The BPF figure Dinobots is now available here in the Philippines. You can get them at 999 Mall and 168. I know a lot of people that are selling it. Shout out to Romnick. He's selling one of these, and he has a set, I believe. So again, my final verdict is that if you want to get a Volcanicus figure and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, then you can get the BPF figure right now. So I will be continuing my reviews. Please subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing, if you like what I've been doing. Thank you very much for supporting me, and please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and give me some comments and feedback, and tell me what's going on. What can you say about the stuff that we've been reviewing lately? And I'd like to thank everyone again for watching this video. Remember, my name is Chompilo, and remember that till all are one, peace out. You gotta rock and roll. Ciao.